What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is here for a little transfer deadline day special. And listen, we're 5 minutes away. Why haven't you gone to sleep yet? Are you waiting for something? Please, as you're coming in, please smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And yeah, I want to hear from people that are here, people in the comments that were watching the video after, your thoughts on this transfer window as we come to a close. I gave a few thoughts yesterday, but as we come to a close, we'll just wrap those up and see where we go from here. Sam S already showing a bit of displeasure with the board. The board need to explain themselves on this. It's shocking. What is the point of order? Can see the fan base start to turn. John B, hopefully KG Vision can put some perspective on things and cheer us all up. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Ali Matthews, another 4 months of Bagel FC, time for a whiskey. Yeah, pack of polos, man. Pack of polos. So there's nothing in the middle. You know how it goes. Jakanji, honestly terrible. Understand. Blinky Fish, very disappointed. Rebecca, I said long before January we wouldn't be signing anyone. Really not surprised. Border too arrogant. If we go down, it's on them. 100%. 100%, Rebecca. Couldn't agree more. Bobby, let's just gamble with our Premier League status. Love to see it. Yeah, listen. As we stand now with 3 minutes to go, unless there's going to be something major happening, we have signed no one. We've signed no one. Alicia key settings, that's where we're at. So it's going to be the one under 23s player, which we don't talk about here. We want to talk about first team. And yeah, I mean, we're 2 minutes away, 3 minutes according to the deadline day clock, which I'm having to look at now instead of the real sources. But yeah, Ben, I saw this today. I mean, Ben saying only news that has been published is Berardi's new club. Sorry if I'm late to the party now. We're just getting started, Ben. And yeah, I mean, that's what I've seen today. People celebrating a former player getting a club. I mean, that kind of sums up everything I've been saying about this being a family and everything else like that. Not looking after your own club, but just worrying about people that are here that shouldn't be here, people that have gone. Come on, man. Let's just get out of that mindset, please. James Meredith, Bielsa must trust to use players like bait now, right? We'll see. We'll see about loose bait. Mark Jones, AFKG, come and get that rant going, brother. Embarrassing tonight, mate. Let the gamble begin. You see, the thing is, Mark, I don't think I'm going to be ranting all that much. I'm going to be telling a few truths, but I don't know if it's going to come across in rant form because as we've approached the last couple of days of this window, I've kind of not expected anything now. Like I didn't expect anything. Even with that Minamino rumor, I didn't expect that to happen. And I wasn't really bothered if it did happen or not, in truth. And then the Kennedy rumor. I mean, these are signings. I mean, first of all, they're both wingers, which kind of just makes your mind blown straight away. We're crying out for central midfielders, and yet we're going to go for two more wingers. But I guess they would have been adaptable and could play anywhere in the team, right? Jakanji, honestly, teams around us have improved, and it's the worst thing is standing still. Jakanji, yeah, listen, as I said, everything's a gamble. Whether you stand pat, that's a gamble. If you bring in players and it doesn't work, it's a gamble. But you have to be proactive. And Jakanji's right, and it was something I was going to bring up here. Every other team around us has either changed manager or they've made changes to their playing personnel. Everyone, even Watford, who I don't think is going to stay up, but at least they've done something. At least they've tried. Burnley have tried a really good thing. In fact, they've really tried hard, but we've done nothing. Why? And I mentioned on the show I did yesterday, is it because Bielsa's not going to be here next season? Because for me, if he's not here next season, it means that they can't look at buying anybody on a long-term contract in case the new coach don't want that player. Is that the reason? But then what's the reason behind not getting any loans? We've seen loans today. Van der Beek has gone to Everton. Dele Alli is about to be finalised, even though that's not really a loan. That's a very complicated deal. But that money will only get hit if Dele Alli hits those targets. So if it hits the targets for Everton, it's a good deal for them. But we didn't get nobody. Chufla, everybody at the club is to blame. Yeah. Ben Boy, so many teams around us buying. I would have took Dele Alli or any creative talent. We have never replaced Pablo. That is why we just do not score. I mean, that's one of many reasons, Ben. And the fact is, we don't have an actual striker right now. Well, we do, but he doesn't get played. So you have to look at it in the way of Marcelo Bielsa. If he's not going to play Gelhardt, that means we're relying on Tyler Roberts and Rodrigo for goals. So that's where we are for the rest of the season, and we'll get into all of that. One Leeds fan channel. One Leeds fan channel. Connor, what are you doing to yourself, my guy? Listen, we have to talk about it. I'm going to have to talk about it. So, and it's closed. Yeah, it's done. Shut. That's it, Mark. That's it, close. Why is the question? Is Rads going? Is Bielsa going? Maybe a big clear out. And we're not going to know this until the summer. And that's the most frustrating thing. But what we haven't done is helped ourselves for the next couple of months. We haven't helped ourselves. So, Lewis says, don't worry, I'm available for selection. Well, Robbie's saying nobody knows what Van der Beek can actually do in the Premier, but you could say that about a lot of players, Robbie, that have moved into the Prem in this current window. You don't know what they're going to do. In fact, you don't even know what some of the players that have moved from Prem club to Prem club are going to do. Everything's a gamble, but you at least give yourself a chance, especially when you've seen what we've been doing game after game this season, minus the Chelsea away loss and the West Ham away game. That's the two standout performances for me. Overall, the rest have been very, very hard to watch. Yeah, I mean, look, Zakaria 4.5 to Juventus. I don't know if he would have come to us. I think he would have been looking for Champions League football, in all fairness. But listen, we'll see. Yeah, Gil just saying that he's happy for Aaronson. Yeah, it's a good signing for Brentford. Cannot lie. Somebody, even for us, somebody that can actually take a set piece. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Somebody to take a set piece. Douglas Luiz was bandied about saying that he might be available. Another guy that could take a set piece and a central midfielder of good quality and certainly an upgrade on what we've got. But we are where we are. Mark Jones, I've seen this one a few times, Mark, and he's just saying he would have been happy with Todd Cantwell from Norwich. Well, I mean, what they're saying is that Norwich wouldn't have probably loaned him to us anyway. He wasn't going to be available to anybody in the bottom half of the Prem. And you also have to look at it. I do look at it in Todd Cantwell's case and just say he fell out of favour with Farker. And then Dean Smith's come in and he tried him for a game. Remember, he started the first game. Dean Smith came in and he got subbed off. And I don't think he's been seen again. So I think there is something to that. So I'm kind of glad that he's gone to Bournemouth. I think it's quite telling that he's happily moved to Bournemouth with an option to buy. So I don't think we've really missed out there. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this as well a couple of times. So I will say it out. Christopher K saying we have quality already. When players return from injuries, we will be okay. John was saying worrying about the teams around Leeds have all strengthened. I worry about Watford with Hodgson in charge. Well, listen, if we know anything about Roy Hodgson, yeah, he knows how to batten down the hatches and stop teams conceding because he can put you to sleep with his tactics. So you've got a bit of a point there. You do have a point. Paul O'Connor, what the hell is going on with this club, KG? The board is playing Russian roulette with the rest of the season. Shout out One Leeds channel for that one. Shambolic, Auto Kinnear, Rads out. Wow. Well, listen. Yeah, I mean, Torchman saying same old rubbish about when players return from injury, and you've got a point there because, as we've said before, and Connor over on One Fan Leeds has said before, we've always got players out injured. That hasn't changed since Bielsa's been here. So it's a bit unrealistic to think we're going to have our full squad at some point this season because it just doesn't happen. Like you have to go by proof of what's actually happened. That hasn't happened for us yet. Triple G. I got laughed at by Leeds fans for suggesting Dele Alli and Donny van der Beek. Yeah, Dele Alli is a funny one though. But I do think that, and no one would like saying it, but under Frank Lampard, he might be rejuvenated. I think he's needed to leave Tottenham for a couple of years now. He's been very stale, very, very going through the motions. Who knows what he's going to do at Everton? But they've kind of signed a low risk signing there because he's only going to get. They only have to pay a fee. Was it 12 million if he makes 20 appearances? And you've got to believe if he's playing 20 appearances, then he must be doing okay, right? And then it goes up something like 40 if he hits other targets. So it's quite a low risk signing for them. And I kind of rate it. I don't know about going up to 40 million for Dele Alli, but I do think he just needed a fresh scenery. James Meredith, KG, we can still sign Jermain Defoe at any point because he's a free agent. Hey, you know what? You laugh, but you know Defoe knows where the goal is, man. Just give it to him. But we're a high pressing team, remember, so we can't just have someone standing still. It wouldn't be a. Oh Lord, it wouldn't be a fit. I don't think. Robbie saying, "I'm still a Bielsa disciple, though. Am I to be proved wrong?" Listen, Robbie, this isn't really about that. The proof will be in the pudding, won't it? Come the end of the season, but I mean, listen. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. You know, Chase, yeah. I mean, listen. Look. I'm laughing. We've made no signings, and I'm laughing, man. I'm looking California, but I'm feeling Minnesota. If anyone knows that lyric, kudos to you. But you know, we've kind of put the dead into deadline day today. In all fairness, and I don't know if anyone was really expecting anything. Maybe we was hoping. You was kind of wishing in the back of your mind, oh, maybe they are going to get somebody over the line. But I gave up hope yesterday. I gave up hope straight away. For me, if anything was going to happen, it was going to happen near the start of the window. I was certain of it. I was so sure that we would get something done at the start of the window because they could see what the gaping holes that we had in our team. But then we beat Burnley 3-1. That kind of papered over everything. We get an away win against West Ham. That again just exasperated that maybe we don't need anything. Nah. It's there's a lot of short-term thinking at this club. There really is. And it's kind of pained me because now that this window is done, now it's done. So we are now, what, 2-3 windows behind where we should be. So unless we are clearing out, say, 7 bodies in the summer and bringing 7 in, it's not going to happen. I look at Spurs today. Spurs loaned out Lo Celso with view to a move. They loaned out Ndombele because it hasn't been working out. And they're 2 players that are just taking up places in the squad now. That's what you're supposed to do. And they brought in 2 players in Bentancur and Kulievsky. They brought in 2 players and moved 2 out. That's what I was expecting us to do this summer, this January. I really was. But no, happy families, man. Happy families. Gil Saville, KG, if we beat Newcastle, would you still be upset about not signing anyone? Yeah. Gil, I'm not a game to game kind of guy. I'm looking at the long term because what I would have hoped is that maybe a couple of the players that I would have moved out would have scored or assisted, thus making their value higher, and you get them out at a high value. That's the way I look at it, Gil. I'm not looking at it as we lost to Newcastle, we need to do something. No, I've been consistent. I've said that we needed to get stuff done in order to keep the club moving, keep the club ticking. Right now, we've got pretty much almost the same squad as when we came up. You know, barring a few people here and there, it's just not right in terms of where the club said that they want to go next season. That's what I measure it by. Well, that's what I did measure it by until I've seen us this month. Until I've seen us this month. That's what I did measure it by. Yeah, Tom Gatlin, Melier injury would be a disaster, and you know you've got the club have put out the information today. Melier, top goalkeeper, 74 saves. Any other time you'd be looking at that and saying that's brilliant, but at that moment in time, you're looking at it like, well, why has he had to make so many saves? And that's not even including all the goals that have been conceded. So obviously, not everything is not right in the squad. But that information was put out today as if it was a positive. But if you can read between the lines, you know that's not a good stat to have. Jazz Singh, too many passengers on a championship team playing in the Premier League needs refreshing. Yeah. And Jakanji, yeah, absolutely. If Raf get injured, God help us. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we're on now. I think has everyone given up hope of Bamford coming back at any point? I think we'll probably get some news on Bamford this week, honestly. But it's just what I was saying earlier about the comfort that a lot of the players that have got us 5 league wins this season have just sat around today with absolutely no worry about their place being threatened, them moving out, somebody coming in to possibly replace them. Doesn't anyone find that puzzling, baffling? That nobody, you've got players there that are literally mediocre in their place, and they haven't even had to look over their shoulder and think, "Oh God, I hope this guy doesn't come in," because they know that there's just nothing happening. Robbie, who's Bamford? Yeah, Scott, totally agree with you, KG. Bielsa likes his favourites and does not want to upset them. Yeah, and Gil earlier in terms of if we lost against Newcastle, if we had lost against Newcastle, putting out our best possible team for that game, a home game against that version of Newcastle, then I would be all right with it. I really would, because at least I know that Bielsa is going to probably try these guys in future games. But we saw it. Lewis Bate didn't touch the pitch. Tyler Roberts was brought on before Joe Gelhardt, even though Joe Gelhardt really should have started. And you bring on Dan James as a sub. That's what I would have done anyway, because Newcastle have not got good fitness levels, and I just don't see the evidence of that. So, and then we see as well the news, and we mentioned it yesterday about this Rafinha Calvin Phillips thing to West Ham. I mean, it's the biggest. If you've worked in those kind of businesses before, you know exactly what that is. That's from West Ham side. It's showing that their fans who are trying to push for top four. Look who we've tried to get, Calvin Phillips and Rafinha, but Leeds didn't want to sell them to us. And then from our side, it's look at the interest we've staved off by keeping Calvin Phillips and Rafinha. It's just PR genius when you talking to simple people, I should say, because really smart people and good credit to a lot of the Leeds fans I saw in the comments. No one believed that shit for a minute. No, I didn't see anyone worth a grain of salt that fell for that. So shout out to everybody. Um, yeah, Tom, I'm going to talk about that in a bit. In a bit, let me just. Yeah, Gil, I would have definitely started Gelhardt up front against Newcastle. Yeah. Gary Mill, I feel our league position this year shows where the squad really is. It needs a big overhaul. It does, and that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying I wasn't saying get out 8 players this month, because that's unrealistic. But like Spurs did, getting 2 bodies, just make it easy for yourself, because we're already a few windows behind. Everton today, Dele Alli, Van der Beek, but earlier in the window they signed a right back and a left back. They're covering bases because their position in the league says it's not working. They even changed their manager too to go with it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. You see, I mean, Joseph's asking about what are your thoughts on the argument of Click being in the top 10 for most chances created in Europe. I say use your eyes. That for me is where the eye test go outruns any stats from people that just watch spreadsheets all day long, because anyone in their right mind can tell you Click hasn't been that guy. And if he was that guy, I'll throw it back to you, Joseph, because we've had offers for Rafinha, for Calvin Phillips allegedly, but where was the offer for Mateus Click then? If he is that good, top 10 for most chances created in Europe, where's the interest in Mateus Click? It's a fair question if he's that good. Lee Waters, shout out to you, man. You did ask about if I was coming on today, and I told you it was going to be a late one, Lee. Thank you for supporting the channel. Lee saying, I didn't expect any sign-ins, little gutted, with 2 injuries away from disaster. I think 4 months of an under 23s bench. How safe are we? No ambition, marching on together. Fair points. Fair points. Yeah, Tom, you constantly say it, KG. Players too comfortable at Ellen Road need to be ruthless in the summer. Honestly, Tom, there's going to be tears. There's going to be tears. I'm a visual guy. I'm a creative guy, and I just picture a lot of these guys just standing around once they confirm that they're having to leave and they've got a new club. There's going to be they're going to be crying all over the place. It's going to be something to see, especially if they film it. I think there's going to be so many tears, but it has to be done. Has to be done. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens. Flatato, Flatato, Click has one good game in 10, and people act like he's proved the doubters wrong. I mean, that's where we are. Anytime he has half a decent game, everyone's just like, yeah, see, I knew he could do it. It's like, is that if that's what the bar is, the bar's in hell. If that's what you think quality is, you know. Listen, and we're talking. So now we've got to concentrate on what we've got, and going by Angus Kinnear's comments, we got to rely on the under 23s. And doesn't anyone think as well that it's a bit odd that the reports were saying today that Somerville, sorry, could have gone if we got a player in. So once again, a bit like the drama situation, we're relying on an under 23 player that doesn't play anyway. Last time we saw him was against Wolves, if I'm correct. But yet we're relying on him. For him to go, we need to get somebody in, even though he doesn't get picked anyway. What? See, this is where sometimes the anger and the blame gets directed at the wrong people. This is on recruitment, Bielsa recruitment, whatever you want to label it as. But we should not be holding an under 23 player who wants to go and play first team football in Germany back because we can't get in a first team body in the squad. To me, that's crazy. I don't know. Michael Normanton. Is this Michael Normanton from the skit? If this is you, Michael, let me know. You're not calming me down, KG. I'm just trying to give you the points as I see them. Whether they're right or wrong, I don't know, but this is how I see them, and this is how I've just seen it as the windows come to a close. Freddie Mac. KG, if we go down now, how many years will it take before we come back? I don't even want to think about that, Freddie. But we won't get instant promotion again because this team will get gutted. And I'm talking about our better players, Melier, Phillips, Rafinha. We can't keep those guys. And yeah, yeah, I thought so, Michael, because you are a little bit more. But it's not pessimism though, Michael. It's just where we are. It's from winning 5 games all season and doing zero business in this month. Like we're all right. I don't see him as pessimism, Michael. I think it's realistic. I really do. Okay, here we go. Yep. Sasha's saying, I feel like the board really can't read the room. Fans want young guys playing and signings. Well, yeah, Sasha, it's a case of playing your better young players, and let me make that clear. It's about seeing Lewis Bay play when available, and a perfect game for that would have been home against Newcastle. But it's not about seeing, with all due respect to him, and I really mean all due respect to him, Stuart McKinstry. It's not about seeing that kind of young player play in the first team for Leeds United in the Premier League. So there's a right balance, and it's also about seeing an actual midfield play in the team. Now we've gone back to Rodrigo there again. What? Rodrigo back in the midfield, and how many times has that worked? This is all a big gamble, and I want to get to that as well, because when you look at our next 4 games, let's go for our next 4 games, because somebody mentioned it earlier, and I want to go there. We've got Aston Villa away, Everton away, and then 2 home games against Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, right. I want everyone in the chat now. There's a good amount of people in here. Please smash the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel. But realistically, Villa away, Steven Gerrard rejuvenated that team. They again did business. They got rid of Matt Target after they brought in Luca Digne. That's what you call an upgrade. And I knew he would. I knew he would upgrade those positions, just like I knew he would get rid of El Ghazi. He is not a Steven Gerrard player. But you look at Villa away, Everton. I was looking at Everton as the game. I'll be honest with you. I was looking at the Everton game before Lampard came in and said, "Yeah, we should get them in their current state because we're not great, but they're in the mud. They are absolutely in the mud." But now, Everton have got the Lampard effect, and I mentioned it yesterday, and I'll mention it again for anyone that didn't hear. Lampard will do everything in his power to beat Leeds United, and more so Marcelo Bielsa. It's just on that. So not only have we got to play to 100% of our ability, we've got to give it that extra 10% because it's Frank Lampard who will do everything to beat us. So not even that is, I mean, there's no such thing as a guaranteed 3 points because Newcastle at home happened, but even that one's looking tough. And then you go to Manchester United and Tottenham. I mean, February is going to be an absolute struggle. And I'm not going into predictions for those games yet, but I'm just looking at those next 4 games that we've got coming up. Wow. It's going to be tough. Sam S. Lampard will beat us, no doubt. I can see his smug face already. Freddie Mac, remembering Bielsa's first season, we were so far ahead of Villa, and look what happened when a team puts a string of wins together. Philip saying we are not scared of Frank. I'm not saying be scared, but it just changes the dynamic of that game that realistically looked like a decent game to get 3 points in. That's going to be a lot more tricky now. Indian Joe saying 2 points from those 4 games. Paul O'Connor, how can we rely on the 23s when they're not getting in the first team anyway? Again, shambolic. Well, yeah, absolutely. It just seems to be conflicting messages from all the board and then Marcelo in his press conferences, because I really would just love to know what kind of names was offered to him and what Marcelo would have said. I mean, just imagine if he was offered a Van der Beek or someone like that and he said, "No, we've got Matthijs Klick, we're all right." Imagine that. Jazz saying, "Get those binoculars out." Oh man, good old Spider. Okay, never dies, does it? James Meredith saying Lampard signed 2 midfielders because he knows he can win the midfield battle against us now. I mean, well, he signed 2 midfielders because they need them. They've got Decore, who's going to be out for a little bit, and the midfielders, Andre Gomez and Tom Davis, are dead ballers. So he's done what he needed to do, and he's got 2 midfielders that, if they're playing on their game, can get you a goal from midfield. And well, that's something that we just don't have. Yeah, that's it, Tom. A lot of contradiction coming out of the club. Seriously. Let's have a look. Oh man, just seeing some of my Arsenal friends just absolutely going ballistic on their streams. I mean, they've had a horrific window, but listen, we're here to talk about Leeds United. Yeah. I mean, I just look at some of the other deals, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but like Arthur Cabral, 14 million to Fiorentina. Imagine if we had signed like a Cabral coming into these next 4 games, as I've just mentioned, and he'd be like, yeah, they might be in good form, but we've got our new secret weapon. We've got our new weapon up front, Cabral. We can't even say that. We're going to have to roll with Dan James up front. And barring that, it's going to be Tyler Roberts. And failing that, it's going to be Rodrigo. I see. If you don't laugh, people, you know what? You will just like collapse and roll into a ball and just, I don't know. It's not even worth thinking about, honestly. Nathan Wright, so disgusted how we haven't even got a minimum of a loan in. Absolutely. I'm with you. John B, where's that ambition? And of course, here we go. Michael S, it's done now. Whilst I'm very disappointed, all we can do is back the team and march forward. And absolutely, we'll always back the team. And, you know, I know that people are saying that the groans have started to creep in for Tyler Roberts at the actual ground now. But while they're playing, I will always back my team. I always want them to do well. It's like I want you to defy the expectations that I've currently got of you and prove me wrong. But sorry, but most of the time this season, they haven't proved me wrong. But listen, we'll always back the team now. I will never, you know, encourage a player to do badly just to prove my point. That's ridiculous support. But it's about just evolving the team and moving on. We have to. And if we do survive this season, I expect to see changes in the summer. And if Bielsa is still here, he needs to adapt as well. And I said it yesterday, but once again, I'll say it today because I think there's a few new people here. But he has to adapt as well and not get attached to the players that he's currently got so much loyalty to. He can't do it. Like, for me, I say it again, you drop Pascal Struijk for Liam Cooper as soon as Cooper's fit again. Nah, you can't do that because Pascal Struijk is our best centre-back and will be a top centre-back going forward. When you look at Pascal Struijk, he's got all the attributes defensively, on the ball, from set pieces, defending set pieces, attacking set pieces. He's an automatic for me in the team. But we've seen it already with Rodrigo coming back. You know, I thought cheekily, is Rodrigo being played for the shop window? I was hoping that was the case, but no, it isn't. It's just that it's one of Bielsa's guys. But whether Bielsa feels bad in 20 years and he has to write Liam Cooper a letter like he did Crespo, let him do that. But you have to do what's best for the team. And the best thing for the team is to play your best players. And currently, we're not doing that as we didn't do against Newcastle. Let's have a look. And yeah, listen, Aaronson. Let's just quickly touch on Aaronson. Well, just before that, Mark James, spot on. Struijk has proved himself, and then some. Absolutely, I would not drop Pascal for anyone. Honestly, not even Cock or Llorente. I think they have to fight out between themselves who partners him. Tom Gatlin, in the North Stand, more and more fans beginning to question Bielsa's managerial decisions, i.e. subs, favourites. Yeah, but that doesn't mean, and you always have to caveat this and make it clear. It's so annoying that you can't just say something without people thinking you're a hater. It doesn't mean that you're not thankful for everything Bielsa's done. It really doesn't. It doesn't mean that you hate Bielsa by any means. You just want him just to see what's in front of him and do the simple things sometimes. I mentioned it in the Newcastle one. That was such a simple game to play. Sometimes you don't need to overthink football games, and that Newcastle game was so easy to predict, but we didn't do ourselves any favors in that game at all. But and it doesn't change my feelings towards Bielsa. It really doesn't. But I just need him to adapt as well. Just like I need Leeds fans in general to adapt to what you need in the Premier League in order to get ahead and how you need to play. All this moaning about teams coming to Ellen Road and wasting time once they're ahead and everything, that's the Premier League. That's how you do it. There's no point moaning about it. Referees aren't going to give everyone yellow cards. There's a lot of adaptation. And listen, I do always say, I think it's because a lot of Leeds fans do just watch Leeds and haven't watched Premier League while we've been out. But that's the way it is in the Premier League. You have to keep ahead of these people and keep up with these teams as well. That's what you have to do. Let me just say, and that's another thing as well. Just in regards to I was going to talk about something before. Yeah, Aaronson, yeah, and it's been reported as well. Aaronson. Let me get back to Aaronson for a second. It's reported by some reporters that it was never going to get done this month, which I think was pretty obvious. But now there's more teams going to be looking at him, which was so obvious. Once a club is interested in a player, it makes other clubs that probably weren't aware of him go, okay, who's that guy? Then they look into him and think, he'd be pretty good for us. So now this Aaronson deal, if it's completed and it's ready for the summer, cool. But if we're going to wait until the summer to get it done, there's a big chance that it probably won't get done because there's going to be clubs probably bigger than us going in for him. and there you've lost another choice. And the other thing for that was, if we wasn't going to get that, which was our plan A, what was plan B, plan C? I know Bielsa's thing is plan A and do it better, but if that really wasn't going to come to fruition, where was the other options, or who were the other options? Did we try and get them? We'll just never know. We won't know. So yeah, I mean, Stephen Hay, we are 2 games away from a dogfight again. That's why we need to provide more support in this window. Exactly. And Gil mentioned the Newcastle result earlier, but that really did not help dropping to a poor Newcastle team who have now since strengthened their team since. It didn't help. But there was another thing in regards to the under 23's development in terms of Angus's comments. And the thing that when I see fans talk about Drame, not being grateful for being here and wanting to go off to Cardiff and play first team football, and Somerville wanting to go off and play first team football. I mean, that's all well and good if they're not playing games, right? So they're having to learn through training and everything. And I saw somebody, and I won't say a name, but they said that just like Phil Foden at Manchester City, let me repeat that. Just like Phil Foden at Manchester City. Now, there's a lot to unpack with that sentence, but let me just give you the basics. If you're Phil Foden at Manchester City, guess what you're doing? You are learning from the absolute best. Not only are you learning from Pep, you're learning from David Silva at the time, you're learning from Bernardo Silva, this little guy called Kevin De Bruyne. So you're learning from a few people there that will help your game. And I think when you see Phil Foden play, you are absolutely seeing what you've created at Manchester City. He's in a much better system. Who is Lewis Bate learning off right now? Give me your answers. Lewis Bate, central midfielder. Yes, he can get stuff off Raf, but I'm talking about positionally, technically in your position. Who is he learning off? Forshaw, Click. I mean, that. I mean, come on. There's you. Sometimes you have to give context to things that you're saying, and if you're not getting first team football at Manchester City, you're getting much better education, much better training there than you are not playing first team football at Leeds United. Come on. Let's be sensible about this. You know what I mean? Paul Connor, the next debrief is going to be good. KG Browning was adamant we'd get a body in. Yeah, I mean, listen, Brownie is as optimistic as anybody else that I know. Like that's why I feel the show works so well. You got Connor, who's Connor. You got myself, who who looks at it from a football point of view, not just the Leeds United one. And then you got Brownie, who's just like ultra positive. But as people saw, even he was a bit down about the Newcastle defeat. So even he knows that there's some surgery that needed to be done. Armia Footsack. I trust in the youth system. Some of the players that have come in the games have done well. Yeah, I mean, Creswell's done well. Gelhart's done well. But there's no reward. I mean, even when we go back to when Cooper got injured, it wasn't one of the centre backs that got ready to come on. And again, what we're talking about in just simple tactics that should have been done. Cooper gets injured. You would think Creswell comes on and we go from there. No, he put on Jack Harrison. And there's also things called confidence. Like, what does that say for the confidence of those players? You have to think of things from a human point of view sometimes as well, not just a football fan, to really get what the players are thinking. Tom Gatlin, he's learning from Tyler Busquets. See, this is it. This is why we do this, man. It's therapy. It helps us all. It helps us all. Crixus, Bell, Gelhardt need more than 10-20 minutes, but we won't play them, and they happen to be the two positions we are missing. Nail on the head. Nail on the head. Dan Savage, great point, Cage. You know one. It's just being realistic. Who is Lewis Bate currently learning from? Gavin James, we have needed a striker and midfielder for 2 seasons. I agree. Let me just see. Ali Matthews, Yelda looks like he could be some player in a few years. Shame that the 23s recruitment is better than the first team. Yeah, 23s get all the fruits, and first team's just starving. Michael S. Will the management team ever be forgiven if we are relegated? Will injuries be the excuse? Well, I'm not thinking about that, and a few people have asked, do I think we're going to go down? If we don't go down, we've just made it very difficult for ourselves. It's going to be. I always knew from when we played, what was it, like maybe 10 games, that the rest of the season was going to be a bit of a slug, and I still feel that way. I definitely feel that way, because any positive result we get out the next 4 are going to be tremendous results, just like the West Ham one was. That was amazing. But the problem with our team is that we have to play to our absolute maximum in order to get a result this season. We can't just get by and skirt by with a quick win and steal one. We have to actually work for it really hard. So yeah, I don't know about relegation, but if we do go down and it's because of the activity of other teams that have looked to improve their team, whether it be managerial or through the squad, then it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't. But I tell you, I'd be absolutely devastated. I don't want to experience that kind of relegation again. So let's just see how we get on. And let's see how the other teams around us get on too, because they've got work to do in order to catch us too. So let's just remember that as well. Yeah, Dave Northmore, sorry. I don't think the club lacks ambition. I just think that they don't want to just buy a quick fix to plug the injury gaps. They want players who are right for improvement and progress in the long term. And yeah, Dave, that's true, but it's also about giving those players that are currently injured some competition too. So Dave, let me just say, like Phillips, when Phillips is back, he's coming straight in. No one has gone into Calvin's position and made Calvin Phillips think, God, I'm going to have to work my butt off once I'm fit to get my spot back or keep my spot. He's coming back in. Same with Bamford. Gelhardt hasn't been given that run of games just to see if he can be a striker for us in the short term and maybe think, well, is Bamford's place secure? No, when Bamford's fit, he's coming straight back in, Dave. So that's what it is for me. It's about competition for places and fleshing out the bench, and we haven't done it. It's as simple as that. But I hear what you're saying. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're at 42 minutes. I'm not going to spend too much longer here. I think I've got everything that I wanted to say. Yeah, I think I've got everything that I wanted to say in here. But just in closing, in terms of, I look, just at this window. I also think about, what does this say to Calvin Phillips and Rafinha come the summer? Rafinha, I thought if we'd done some good business in this January window, just to see that we're looking to elevate ourselves in order to get better come the next season, I thought he might have given us another year. I really did. But right now, even if he signs a contract, between you and I, the Leeds fans in here, I don't think he's going to be here next season. If it's to any rival fans listening, you're never going to get him. All right. But I'm just looking at it from their standpoint. Rafinha, yet again, off with the Brazil team. He's playing with Anthony. He's playing with all those guys. And then he's going to come back here yet again and have to carry all the load. So for me, I would love Rafinha to give us another year, but the business that we're doing doesn't say that we're moving in the direction that someone like Rafinha wants to go in. And I know everyone laughed at the West Ham bids, and I don't think West Ham had a chance to get Rafinha or Calvin Phillips, but there will be other clubs that will be looking at those two come the summer. Calvin Phillips, can anyone blame him if he was to look for a Champions League team? His stock is never going to be higher than it is right now, and especially coming up to a World Cup year. Would you begrudge him a move to a Champions League team? I wouldn't begrudge either because of the way that we've currently moved. So that's where I see those. And you know what? I even throw Meslier in there. I throw Meslier in there too because I know for a fact that Manchester United have looked at Meslier. I know that for a fact too. So you've got the star players at the club that have done well and stand out and could play at a high level. Are they going to stay with us if we're going to keep the same squad and middle around in the middle of the Premier League? I'm not sure, because for me, Calvin, Rafinha, for definite, can go to Champions League teams and make an impact. And I also and listen, we can talk about Pascal as well. If Pascal, let's just say Pascal does get dropped once Cooper's back, there's a chance that Pascal might look at it and go, "Well, why am I here? Why am I here? I'm one of the best. I'm one of the best players here, and you keep dropping me or moving me out just to accommodate somebody else." So we do have to be careful of these things. The windows, they all add up to results. You know, every action has a reaction. Just remember that. Let me just listen. I'll just go through a few more comments of you, man. There's like over 200 people in here. Please smash the like for me. Get me out of that YouTube algorithm hell that I talk about. And yeah, just support your boy here, man. Jason Lee saying KP and Raf deserve a high level. Wouldn't begrudge them even if we get the right price. Yeah, I think we would only get the right price for them as well. I don't think the board would undersell these two guys. I really don't. But I don't want them to go. I want to build around these guys. I want to add to these two. I don't want to have to see one of them go for 70 million in order to get other players in. Well, and I said this earlier. If Rodrigo could have gone for 50 million this window, or even on loan with a view to a permanent move for 15, I would have taken it. If Mateus Click, if we could have got into 5 to 7 million for him, I would have taken it. I just don't know what you can do come the summer. But I mean, there's a few of you concerned with relegation. Ariana Lucci, concerned about relegation now. Big moves around us. We've got to see. Listen, like we've gambled not doing anything. We've got to see if their gambles work as well. But I hear what you're saying, Ariana. Matthew Smith, what NHL shirt is that, KG? And if it's not the Colorado Avalanche, it's the wrong jersey. No, listen, Sidney Crosby, man. Penguins, baby. Penguins all the way. But Colorado are good. I'll give you that. They're very, very good. Got a lot of them in my fantasy hockey team. So yeah, shout out to you. PSF, shout out to you, PSF. I believe Pascal will go to Liverpool, and I can see Bielsa say we still have Cooper. Whoa, nightmare. Tom Gatlin, do you think we will realistically do a squad overhaul in the summer? I hope so, but doubt it. I don't think so. I just don't think you can do it, Tom. It's very, very unrealistic that can happen, that you can move out, 8 players? 7, 8 players? It's very unrealistic. I'm interested to see what we do, though, in the summer. I am interested. Wayne Ridge saying, one thing's for sure, we need to stop gifting stupid goals away. Yeah, that would be helpful. That would be helpful, but we are where we are for a reason, Wayne. Michael Pollard, it's done now. Yep, transfer window's done. Marcelo Bielsa must have better game management and inspire fans, not like he did versus Newcastle. Yeah, agreed. Paul O'Connor, hi again, KG. I think we will stay in the league, but I think we will scrape 15, 16. Does KP and Rafinha want to play for us then? I don't think so. See you on the debrief. Yeah, I mean, this is good. And that's what this is going to be the owner's job. This is what the manager's job's going to be, whoever that may be, to sell them a project, to say, we're going to fight for the top 6. And then they're going to ask, well, how? And then that's where they come in and say, well, we're going to do this and that. But if they don't, as much as they're all friends and as much as they all love the camaraderie in that dressing room, they know that they need quality in that team. So we'll see what happens. But We'll see. Sajal, I'm dreading the next 4 games. Sajal, I hope you're smiling, though. I hope you're smiling, man. But I hear you. I hear you, man. We'll take one game at a time. One game at a time. Big Mally, supporter of the channel. Evening KG, got it, but not surprised we didn't sign anyone. I can only assume that some of the first teamers are due back sooner than we thought. I hope so. I hope so. We need to flesh out this squad because once again, our bench has been embarrassing in the Premier League. It's been embarrassing. It's been quite embarrassing for the Championship, if we're being honest. So we need first teamers back as soon as possible. Simple as that. We can't do anything about it now, so we do need them back. The more bodies, the better. Connor CJM, dreading the rest of the season, to be honest, hasn't been easy to deal with. It's been a tough season, Connor. Like I say, I mean, this channel's grown, and I thank everyone for joining me on it. But last season, when it was a little bit smaller, we was having fun on here, man. We was loving it. We was pumping up the performances. We was, even when we lost with, we lost the right way. I know that sounds like a crazy statement, but there is right ways to lose. And apart from a couple of results like the Man United ones here and there, it was a blast. We was playing great football. But this season, yeah, I agree with you. It's been a tough year to watch the team. It really has. Tom Gatlin, another top stream, KG Cheers. Now, thank you guys for tuning in, of course, man. It's a pleasure doing this. I love doing this. Sajal, you always make me smile, dude, even if I'm disappointed today. We march on together. Absolutely. But yeah, listen, people, I'm going to leave it there. We've gone on long enough. Yeah, for the people watching the replay, please drop your thoughts on the transfer window in the comments. Are you okay with what we haven't done? Are you okay with what we have done? What do you think about our prospects going forward for the rest of the season based off the transfer window we had? I'm very interested to hear what everyone's got to say. So until the next stream, people, I might be back at some point this week. I might be back. Just keep an eye out. Just put the notification bell on and you'll know when I'm going live. So until the next time, people, that has been your transfer window. And I'm with you, Athena. I'm so annoyed. But Bruno, thank you. Thank you to you guys too. But listen, peace out until the next time, guys. Bye.